The question is about the measures the government has put in place to maintain a positive relationship with the United States of America towards growing the economy and creating jobs. Honorable President.
The United States of America remains a strategic as well as a historic partner to our country. South Africa maintains its active engagement with the United States through political, diplomatic, and economic channels. Soon after the establishment of the Government of National Unity last year, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, as well as the Minister and Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, they all undertook official visits to Washington, D.C. for engagement with the administration. They also engaged with members of Congress, business people, as well as academia and think tanks in the United States. Now, following the election of President Trump in November last year, I had a telephone call with him as president-elect to congratulate him on his election and to reaffirm our own commitment as South Africa to strengthening relations between our two countries. Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool has recently been posted to Washington, D.C. for his second stint as our country's envoy to the United States. Ambassador Rasool is on the ground and briefs me almost every other day. He's on the ground with his team, engaging various stakeholders to underscore the importance of deepening economic, political, and cultural relations between these two historic partners, the United States and South Africa. We have taken note of an executive order on recent statements by the current United States administration about South Africa and aspects of our domestic and foreign policy. We have expressed concern about the mischaracterization of the situation in our country and certain of our laws and our foreign policy positions. We will continue to engage the United States of America and other stakeholders to correct this mischaracterization and to ensure that we restore ties between our two countries. A lot of work is underway through various channels to ensure that the relationship is restored. And I'm confident that all the efforts that we are putting in place, both diplomatic, political, and otherwise, will bear fruit.
Mr. President, when AGOA goes, what will you say to the tens of thousands of workers, many of them members of your own political ally, COSATU, who work in the motor industry and who will lose their jobs as a direct consequence of previous ANC foreign and domestic policy? Thank you.
The AGOA free trade opportunity that was inaugurated under President Bush has been going on for a number of years. A number of countries on our continent have been given opportunities to participate, and some have had their participation withdrawn. And as they've had their participation withdrawn, they have had to find ways in which they can enhance their exports. Participation in AGOA is not at our behest. It is at the behest of the United States. And what we seek to do, and have done so for many years, is to demonstrate that we are a good trading partner to the United States and indeed to many other countries around the world, and that we do adhere to rules and regulations that are put in place to enable our participation in trade agreements, whether they are bilateral or multilateral. There is going to be a review of the AGOA process, and last year, you might recall, we held the African and US AGOA Forum here in our own country, and we were able, together with many other African countries, to demonstrate that we do derive value from AGOA, but we also give value. We export, but we also import from the United States. So it is a two-way process, as it is with many other countries around the world. As it is now, we continue not only in anticipation of an AGOA initiative, but we continue to expand our export market for a variety of goods around the world. And as we visit various countries, we do actively promote our own country so as to ensure that our reliance on various markets becomes a multiplicity of engagements. In a few days, the Deputy President will be going to Japan, and he will take with him a number of deputy ministers and ministers, and what they will be seeking to do is to open up more market space for South African goods in the East. And we will be doing so as well in a number of other visits in the Middle East, in the East. And as you know, China has become our biggest trading partner, and we want to sell more. And President Xi Jinping has been saying to us, we want to buy more goods from South Africa. And indeed, various other leaders in the Middle East have been saying precisely that. But we want to continue trading with the United States because we sell minerals, we sell vehicles, we sell agricultural products to them. So we do not take the opportunity that we have, as it is called, Africa Growth Opportunity Initiative. We don't take that opportunity lightly. But at the same time, we want to also demonstrate that, yes, we have value to add. As you may want to know, when I spoke to President Trump, when he was president-elect, congratulating him, I informed him that we value participating in AGOA, but I also informed him that we also sell critical minerals to the United States, and the relationship is fairly balanced. So many workers benefit from our AGOA participation, but at the same time, many other American workers also benefit from what we sell to AGOA. So it is balanced, and we want to see that balance and the mutual benefit carrying on into the future.
Mr. President, there are fly-by-nights such as AfriForum and Solidarity, who without any political mandate, but they are narrow interest groups who want to hijack our foreign policy by propagating misinformation to hamstring South Africa from advancing transformation policies. Mr. President, what is your view on AfriForum's and Solidarity misinformation crusade in the USA? And do you think their actions are treasonous?
I have expressed my concern and my disappointment at what AfriForum and Solidarity have been doing in spreading misinformation about their own country in the United States. And I regard that as being non-patriotic, because when you are a patriot of a country, the best you do is to resolve the problems or issues you have in country rather than begin to damage the sovereignty of your country by running off to other countries and expecting them to take action against your own country. Because in part, through what they have done, they have instigated the action that is now being taken against the people of South Africa. And the fact whether that is treasonous or not is a matter that obviously our law enforcement agencies need to look at. The National Prosecuting Agency needs to look at that. But I take a dim view, in fact, a very negative view of what has ensued as they run around the world, bad-mouthing their own country and putting their country into disrepute, not by things that are happening, but by misinformation, and that also leads to dividing our own nation, because what they are seeking to do is to spread racist statements about their own country, when we are involved in building a nation out of the throes of a very divided situation that we suffered under. So I am hugely disappointed and take a dim view of what AfriForum and Solidarity have done.
Some members in this parliament, including ANC ministers, believe that we can exist in splendid isolation from the United States. The fact that our country cannot break through the 1% economic growth rate, whereas sub-Saharan countries are growing at 4.2% and other developing countries are growing at 3.6%, I assume that you recognized this when you said at your SONA that you'd be dispatching forthwith envoy delegations to the USA and the rest of the world. Not only have you been beaten to this by self-appointed envoys, and your Deputy Secretary General this weekend said that there's no need yet to send envoys to the USA. Mongameli, uthepa uzimisele ukuba singohlukana neAmelika singazamanga ukuxoxa nabo malunga isikhohlakalo sabo malunga ilizwe lethu.
Honorable Speaker, yes, indeed, I did say that we will be sending envoys and delegations not only to the United States but to various parts of our continent as well as the world. That is still our intention. And when it comes, for instance, to Europe, we will be having Europe coming here. So right now there's no need for us to send envoys to Europe. They will be here. The President of the European Union and the President of the European Commission and others of their leaders will be here, and we are going to have good exchanges on a variety of issues that we would have wanted to exchange with them. When it comes to our continent, we continue to engage with our sister countries through the African Union and through the joint sessions of the economic communities on our continent, and we will continue through the various envoys that we have to engage. When it comes, for instance, to other countries like China and others, we've had the opportunity to also engage with them during the G20 occasions or summits that involve foreign ministers and finance ministers. So our engagements continue, and our Minister of International Relations and Cooperation continues together with his deputy ministers to travel around the world. When it comes, say, for instance, to the United States, no, we have not been beaten to it. We've been in very good preparation. And the counsel that we got, which is very useful counsel from a number of quarters, is yes, the United States is now in a milieu of being very transactional. They would like to see what transaction can be crafted with any country that they interact with. And that process is underway through our various departments, and in time I will be able to send the envoys that should go. and they will be going under the rubric of advancing our foreign policy. Foreign policy is the preserve of the executive. Other people who keep going hither and thither, in the end, do not represent South Africa. South Africa is represented by the executive of South Africa. So be rest assured, we will be following through. The mandate we have in terms of our constitution is to ensure that what we do in relation to other countries advances the interests of South Africa. And the executive that I lead will be doing so. So be rest assured, ungothuki sizawulandela yonke into efanele ukuthi ilandelwe, Honorable Trolip. Musuhlala apho ungangcazela uthukile, ungoyiki sizayilungisa lento. Enkosi.